Welcome to Judicial Supremacy, the podcast where we explore the dramatic history and global impact of the U.S. federal court system. Today, we'll journey from the founding debates of 1789 through landmark Supreme Court showdowns to the worldwide adoption of American-style judicial review. Let's dive in.
The Birth of a Judicial Giant, 1789, and the Founding Vision.
Our story begins in the aftermath of the American Revolution. The young United States, governed by the Articles of Confederation, struggled with legal chaos. No national courts, inconsistent laws, and disputes that crossed state lines with no clear resolution. The Constitutional Convention of 1787 changed everything. Visionaries like Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay argued for a strong, independent judiciary to unify the nation and protect rights. Imagine the secretive Senate debates, where the very first bill introduced was the Judiciary Act of 1789. Senators like Oliver Ellsworth and William Patterson crafted a three-tiered system: the Supreme Court, circuit courts, and district courts. Supreme Court justices, in those early days, rode horseback across the country to hear cases, a grueling but unifying ritual. Key finding: the Judiciary Act of 1789 established a federal judiciary that balanced state and national interests, setting the stage for constitutional supremacy.
Step into the historic chambers of the Supreme Court as it boldly claims the power of judicial review, forever changing the balance of American government. Discover how one decision set the stage for the court's lasting influence. Welcome to Judicial Review. The Supreme Court claims its power.
But what made the U.S. system truly revolutionary? The answer: judicial review. In 1803, the Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice John Marshall, faced a constitutional crisis in Marbury versus Madison. William Marbury, denied his judicial commission, sued the new administration. Marshall's opinion was a masterstroke. He denied Marbury's request, but declared, for the first time, that the Supreme Court could strike down laws that violated the Constitution. Picture the tension. If the court ordered the president to act and was ignored, its authority would be shattered. Instead, Marshall asserted, it is emphatically the province and duty of the judicial department to say what the law is. With this, judicial review was born. Marbury versus Madison established the judiciary as a co-equal branch, able to invalidate unconstitutional laws, a principle that would echo around the world. Constitutional supremacy in action, landmark cases. The Supreme Court's power wasn't just theoretical. In McCulloch v. Maryland, 1819, the court struck down a state tax on the federal bank, declaring that federal law is supreme over state law. In Brown versus Board of Education, 1954, the court ended racial segregation in schools, enforcing constitutional rights against state resistance. And in Cooper versus Aaron, 1958, the justices unanimously told states they could not ignore Supreme Court decisions. Key finding: these cases made the Constitution the supreme law of the land, with the Supreme Court as its ultimate guardian. Judicial review, first pioneered by the United States, has become a global phenomenon. What began as a bold American innovation, empowering courts to strike down unconstitutional laws, has inspired countries around the world to adopt their own forms of constitutional oversight. Today, judicial review stands as a cornerstone of modern democracy, shaping legal systems far beyond U.S. borders. The U.S. model didn't stay at home. Its principles of judicial review and constitutional supremacy inspired legal systems worldwide. Latin America, Colombia, 1991 created a powerful constitutional court, now a global leader in rights protection. Brazil, 1988 expanded its Supreme Federal Tribunal's review powers, making it one of the world's strongest courts. Costa Rica, 1989 established a highly accessible constitutional chamber. Post-communist states, Hungary, 1990 formed a constitutional court that led early rights protection. Poland, Czech Republic, Russia, Romania, Estonia all established constitutional courts in the 1990s, often blending U.S. and European